So look, right now, I'm gonna attempt to explain or at least give you an idea, something that you can grasp, something that you can take with you and add it into your imagination. That way you can become a little bit more powerful, right? Now what I want to bring to light is Parlaya and what Parlaya is. Now, if it's one thing I know that I had a hard time imagining, it was imagining to not exist, right? I can imagine so many things, but I couldn't imagine what it would be like to not exist. And that gave me, a segue into a place where I figured out a lot of shit. And I understood that there's levels to life, right? Now, on one hand, you have being, and on the other hand, you have existing. Now, being is the observer. Existing is the observed, right? So, the best way I can break this down to you would be to say that music, mathematics, the laws of gravity and human nature are all living existences, but they don't have shape and form, so they're not beings. Those principles, those laws, those rules have existed long before our observation, which means they were alive longer than we were, which means to be a being is to be in observation of that which exists. Okay? Now, intelligence and wisdom has this fine line between what you know and what you do with what you know. Wisdom is applying intellect into a practical, imaginative, and solution-oriented way. Wisdom comes only with experience. You can go to school for 12 to 24 years and have all of the intellect, all of the knowledge in the world. But if you're not wise enough to apply that knowledge to where it belongs, then there's no nice way to say it, but you lost or you wasted 24 years of your life. Now, people will fuck around and go through those 24 years of life to get this knowledge, to get this intellect, but it won't be for the sake of intellect. It'll be for the sake of making a living. It'll be for the sake of getting bills paid. A lot of shit that revolves around other people's ideas, dreams, and imaginations. See, if you set yourself up in a situation to where you don't think critically, then you're living a life of mediocrity. You're living a life of mediocrity and wavy. I don't have mediocre friends. I don't do mediocre. But that's me. We ain't talking about me. Walk on. So, existing and being is what created you. You had one force which was a being that only knew of its existence because of the container which it was in. The container existed while that individual was, or be, or observed. We're all a mixture of those two. Now, I want to go to a situation where I can exist, but don't necessarily have to be. That's my idea of peace. That's my idea of rest. To exist, but to not be. To be observed, but to not observe. Music is here, was here, and will be here long after you're gone. Music is an immortal being. It doesn't have a shape or a form. So, just getting like into the whole idea of imagining to not exist. To not exist would be fucking robbing yourself of your life, not being able to do what you can actually do, not paying any attention to your relation to the world and the world's relation to you and what you could actually do about it, right? So a lot of people will, and forgive me for going on to a tangent of what a lot of people do, because I don't want to get into that type of mode to where I just comment on certain people. I'm here to practice patience. With that being said, a lot of people will spend their whole existence, their whole being, whatever skin and bone, whatever, form they take, they'll spend all of that shit in order to accumulate material shit, which is gonna dissolve anyway. Like the American dollar is dissolving by the day, but yet a lot of y'all motherfuckers look at that dollar as if it was God, when that dollar is looking at you like you're God. Because as long as you trust in that motherfucker, then it's gonna mean something. But that's a whole nother video about money. People done misplaced their values and decided that money would buy themselves happiness. That's cool. If, financial security is gonna allow you happiness, and if you think that's what's gonna keep your wife, if you think that's what's gonna guarantee your children's survival, then so be it. You can think that shit all you want. If you think that money is gonna allow you to get that woman that you want, so be it. If you think that you copping that bag and you having 1 billion followers on Instagram is gonna get you the man you want, and so be it. All of this shit is worldly stuff that will expire, just like your fucking body will. But there are things in this world, on this plane of existence, that are immortal. So if I spend my entire being an embodiment of those principles, those laws, and all which is immortal, then anybody that emulates those principles, laws, will in most cases be a reincarnation of everything that I stood for. And that's how you keep shit really going. That's how you remain immortal, by being in harmony with that which is immortal. If you continue to just fall back and fall in love with this worldly shit, when you die, you'll be unfulfilled. And you'll come back in this world probably thinking that this is what you need to do again, because you didn't have enough, when you just got the whole wrong idea. You wasn't here to accumulate riches. You was here to appraise things and become valuable, and to spot the value in others, and to praise that value, But that's just one way, that's just one method. As I said before, I'm no teacher. I'm just here to bust down illusions and give you somewhat of a more selfless, a more of service type of idea entitled to yourself. Because, once you start living for the rest of the world and you completely relinquish your right to be happy, then for the most part, you eliminate all possibilities for sorrow. Because you don't live for yourself. You live for fellow man and fellow woman. And, you know, I'm a devotee of the goddess. And I wear a snake on my neck to symbolize a friend of mine. His name is Lord Shiva, the one that will bring Parlaya, the one that was able to make nature demand his attention. See, I don't get wrapped up into celebrities, artists, and, fictional characters anymore. I get all of my game, all of my fairy tales and all of my lessons from a more divine source. So, for the most part, everything that comes from me is gonna come from somewhere where I had to ascend just in order to have an understanding of it. So, I done did that, and I've descended, right? Now I have an overstanding of it, and it's my will that you get an understanding of what's really going on. Because as long as you ride the current, right? As long as you be with harmony, as long as you're in harmony with the rest of your surroundings, then you're gonna be wavy. Everything you do will be effortless. Everything you do will have meaning and impact. Because everything that happened to you had a meaning and an impact. But you open your eyes and you accept everything for what it is, and you be grateful for it. You could be a walking, talking Parlaya. So, yeah, the whole idea of not existing is existing, but not having any type of being to observe you. Because you're always gonna exist. Always. But if you don't observe it, then did you really exist?